Okay, the next thing is to practice some remote job interview questions. I'm going to take you through a few things most of the companies will be asking you as far as a remote job is concerned. Let's go on my screen and let's go through some remote job questions that most employers will be asking you as far as their interview for the remote job is concerned.
All right. So these are some of the questions most employers would ask you during your remote job interview. Sometimes it will just be a form that you will fill. In my case with Hostinga, I had to fill a form. Okay, sometimes they will just ask you these questions in a Zoom meeting, in a Google Meet, or in any kind of virtual conversation. All right. The first thing is tell me about yourself. Basically, even though employers have your CV, even though they have your cover letter and everything else, they still want you to tell them about yourself because they are trying to understand how you communicate. They want to test your communication skills. So, and tell me about yourself. First of all, we need to talk about experience, okay? And these experiences that we talk about should, one way or the other, be related to the work that we are trying to apply for. Okay, then the second option, we need to talk about our background. Okay, so for example, experience could be some of the roles you've had or some of the jobs you've done in the past, most importantly. Okay, so if I'm applying for customer success manager, and even if I've helped a friend of mine with maybe customer support, even if it's just 2 weeks, I need to mention. All right. So in my past experiences, I've helped so and so companies to be able to provide professional support, customer support to their customers. All right. That is a past experience. My background, they're trying to let you come up with something about your background. Okay. In background, we move there to education, but also it's more of the experiences, your education, and then things you have learned, okay, put together. So you need to make sure this is going to be like a paragraph you're going to say as far as your answer is concerned. It's going to be like a whole paragraph for this whole five point questions. So you need to make sure you summarize everything together. It happens in normal interviews, but with virtual interviews, like what the remote job employers would ask you, they expect you to be able to sum it all up. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is all these five things put together should make them feel that you are the right person for the job. The fact is, the way your interview is going to end 100% depends on the first answer you give them. Tell me about yourself. Because this answer sums up all the interview questions, all your CV, all your cover letter. So make sure all these five things are highlighted. So your background could be work, it could be anything else that uh, forms part of your experience in the past. Your education, obviously, that one you can talk about, and mostly you need to mention the latest, the few, like a top three or the last two latest educational certification that you've acquired, or the highest form of education you've acquired so far, or the most relevant form of education. Okay, so sometimes I may have a master's degree, but I'm applying for customer support job, and maybe I have the certificate, professional diploma in customer success. All right, so I need to mention my master's degree, but the final thing I need to talk about is my professional certificate in customer success because that is more relevant to them. All right, your impact, like I did mention earlier, some milestones that you were able to achieve in the previous company or in the previous activity that you embarked on. If you were a team leader, you can mention that. If you're able to hit your target, you can mention that. If you're the employee of the month, you can mention that. Any past experiences, if you don't have them, all of these things, if you don't have them, try to make sure you find the most relatable ones. All right. In my case, what I did was I had a friend that was running a logistics and transport company. Okay, and I was able to just go do some small internship. It wasn't a physical internship, it was just 3 months. That was some years back. All right, 3 months online, I was IT support for them, and all I did was to make sure that I'm checking their socials, checking their website for the last 3 months. So I had this agreement with the guy. He gave me an employment letter and everything else. And whilst I was still working during that 3 months, I was still using that particular experience in my CV. So I was a customer success manager for a logistics and transport company. Okay. Even though the experience is a very short one, in the about us here section, if you mention that, the interviewer gets more attracted to what is yet to come. Okay. They know that definitely you have some value to provide. So they can pay more attention and then ask you more relevant questions. Okay, your uniqueness and usefulness in the new job. So you also wrap it up by letting them know that considering all of my past experiences, blah, 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 I am in the right position to maybe take up the job of a customer success manager to be able to help your company thrive. It's a marketing sentence you are ending your whole paragraph with. Okay, so you end it by letting them know that your uniqueness and then your usefulness, based on your experiences, your background, your education, your achievement that you've mentioned, you definitely are the perfect fit for the job. They didn't ask you if you're the perfect fit, but that is how you end it as far as the tell me about yourself statement is concerned. All right. So the next thing is, why do you want to work here? Oh, this is the most difficult part. That is why I highlighted this, but the rest are just general questions. So, why do you want to work here? I've admired the company in the past, and I've seen some of the projects you are working on. I feel that with my background, I can be able to help create an impact, whatever. Then what are your strengths? Okay. Here you mention your strengths, your biggest weakness. And here, make sure that you don't go and mention that my biggest weakness is that I cannot work on Saturdays because I am a religious person and I go to church on Saturdays. That statement alone is a big disqualification for you. All right. So the biggest weakness here, let's take this example for let's take this for example. I tend to be a perfectionist, which sometimes leads me to spend more time on a task than necessary. Okay, so even though it's a weakness, it also has an advantage. Both sides. It's a win-win answer. So the fact that I want to be a perfectionist, I want to pay attention to details, actually makes me spend more time on a task than necessary. However, then there comes a solution. I am working on finding a balance by setting more realistic goals and deadlines for myself and focusing on the overall project timeline. Truth is, like I always mention, anything that is worth having takes a lot of sweat to acquire. Okay, this is not going to be stressful for you, but you need to prepare. And this knowledge you are acquiring with this free video that you're watching is going to help impact another aspect of your work life. All right. What is your biggest weakness? We've answered that. Can you describe a challenging situation and how you handled it? So yeah, you can just come up with something. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that happened, something that could have happened. Just create your own idea. Okay. So let's take this example. In my previous role, we faced a major issue when a key client was unhappy with the progress of a project. I took the initiative to set up a meeting with the client. So as a customer success manager, that is your job. You always put the customer first. Meeting with the client to understand their concerns and work with the team to address the issues. We adjusted our strategy and kept the client updated with regular progress report. As a result, we were able to meet the expectation and retained their business. So the primary goal of a customer success manager is not in profits, it's not in sales, but customer retention. Okay, because the more people are there for customer support, people are there for sales, but your job as a customer success manager is to make sure that customer retention is being what prioritized. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Very good question, and this question will definitely come up to you. All right, so some people will say, okay, I want to see myself still working with the company because they want to give the company an assurance that hey, no matter what may come, I'm going to be with you. Companies want people that are too loyal. They want people that are willing to grow, even if they intend to leave the company anytime. People that want to grow themselves in the next 5 years, so that if you're even leaving, they can still buy you with more money because you're going to provide more results. Because if you want to stay with a company for 5 years without growth, they even they are better off losing you than maintaining you for 5 years. So in 5 years, I see myself in a leadership role within the company. Okay, so this is somebody that has in mind that in 5 years I need to grow. I see myself in a leadership role, helping to shape strategic initiatives and drive growth. I am keen on continuing to develop my skills. Excellent. Growth. In 5 years, we are talking about growth. That is a key word here. To develop my skills and take on more responsibilities, ultimately contributing to the company's long-term success. Why should we hire you? You should hire me because here we're looking at your past experiences, what you are bringing on board. It's a question just like what do you bring to the table? Why should we hire you? So you should hire me because I have a proven track record of achieving results in the marketing industry. So I have proven track record in customer success manager if you're applying for that. I have a proven track record in social media management. My experience combined with my passion for innovative strategies. Innovation is also very important over here because the team is not just looking for a staff or a team member, they are looking for someone that will bring in something new. So innovation is a good keyword here. Okay, so my experience combined with my passion for innovative strategies makes me a strong candidate. I am committed to bringing my best to your team. I'm confident that my skills and education will make a positive impact on your project. Simple as that. How do you handle stress and pressure? So, here, a lot of people will say, I can handle a lot of pressure. I can work under pressure. It's not just being able to work under pressure and not providing results. Employers always want results, even over your health or anything else. Okay. So, here we are not talking about I can work under pressure. Don't ever put that in your CV or in your cover letter because that's not what they want to hear. They want to know is that how do you? It's not about can you work under pressure. It's how do you handle pressure. So they expect that even through the pressure, you will still deliver results. I handle stress and pressure by staying organized and maintaining a positive attitude. I prioritize my task, break them down into manageable steps, and stay focused on one thing at a time. Additionally, I find the regular exercise and mindfulness practices help me stay balanced and calm during high pressure situations. That is it. Being able to handle pressure, not being able to work under pressure. Because you can work under pressure and not produce any result. But if you can handle pressure, you can still work and then be fruitful. All right. So tell me about the time you worked in a team. Yeah, you can talk about any experience. If you don't have any experience, you can go back to school days. Any project that you worked on that you were in a team. Don't say it was a school project, but you can refer it to any company at all. Sometimes you need to make up things as long as you feel that you are in the position to fit in those stories that you're going to create. Okay. Do you have any questions for us? Excellent. Here you need to ask a question. Okay. Here you need to ask a question. You need to ask questions that are projections, questions that will make you understand what the company is going to do as well on their side. Here, a lot of people can ask about 4 or 5 questions, but here you can also simplify it. Just give them a simple question that is going to let them know that you're already on board because it's the last question. So don't ask a question like, in case I am employed, am I going to do this? No. Ask a question that makes the interviewer feel that this gentleman is already employed because he's made it to the last point of the interview. Okay. So do you have any question for us? Yes, I do. Can you tell me more about the team I would be working with? And the key project you have planned for me for the next 6 months. This is not somebody they've employed. This is somebody that is yet to be employed. But he's asking questions as if he has already been employed, like he has an offer letter. Okay. Also, what does success look like in this role and how is it measured? What are my KPIs? As an employee, what are the key things I need to do for you to know that I'm providing the result that you need? Simple as that. And these 10 questions are the most relevant. Of course, there'll be more, but these are the key ones you need to have your hands over as far as your remote job interview. Let me know if you have any questions on this particular one in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to assist you with the relevant answers. So now that you are well equipped with these experiences, now that you are ready for a remote job interview, let's proceed to the next topic.